Hi, welcome to the Dink Dungeon. This is Poison Dink Frog with a tarot reading about the life of yours truly. This is a snapshot of the current moment, and I will be looking at the cards to take any messages with me that might be helpful. This is a 9 card reading. Later on, I will be going deeper with a 36 card reading, clarifying each of the 9 cards with 3 more cards. So let's get started. In the middle of everything is the Queen of Swords. The middle column is the present, the left column is the past, and the right column is the future. In the middle column, we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. I really dig the energy of these two together. Here they are just seem to be enjoying each other's company and sort of uniting the two territories of the logical, thoughtful world and the emotional world. And we also have the Hermit in the present column. So this is going to be a theme later on, but the Hermit is about tradition and how you stay true to your own traditions of yourself, and how that can be a light for the path that you walk alone, or also being a light for others to follow, which sounds kind of weird and very like self-important to say that the way you're living can be a light for other people, but it's more about the nature of solitary versus bringing other people in, which is sort of the theme I'm getting from these cards, because we have the queens together and then the Hermit as well, who's saying, and by the way, the queens, usually the court cards represent people, but depending on how often you come across like new people in your life, you may change the court cards to be like reflective of you as a person instead, which is why they are representing me, my logical world, and my emotional world, coming together for tradition, because something I'm really focused on at this moment is living with traditions that are setting me up for success. That's with routine, health, and hobbies and stuff. So that's sort of the current situation. Just living healthily and feeling united in self, maybe walking a path alone, but being open to assistance or, assisting others with your journey. In the past column, sort of what led up to this moment, at the top we have this is the 10 of Cups. 10 is fixing, and I see the family as sort of having fixed their stability quite well. There's a house in the background. What can I say? And then below that we have the 9 of Pentacles, which speaks to the ending journey of the ending of a material journey, I suppose, where the outcome has been very independent and successful. So interestingly, there's the independence of the 9 of Pentacles and then the 10 of Cups, where they're united as a family. Anyway, I think I do like the very joyous nature of those two cards. They're very good cards. And it leaves the question, when I look at my past, have I been living in a way that's like necessarily that joyful? Like, what are the cards reflecting there? And I think that with the stability, with the fixing of emotion for the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles independent success is like with the Four of Pentacles at the bottom, something is growing resources. And so some material resource that I already had, I held close and grew upon that. So is that accurate when I add that fourth card in? Yes, I have been very dedicated to a hobby of mine lately. It's a video game, so nothing crazy, but it grew into something where I kind of realized maybe I can take my passions and create something that speaks to my independence and my success and my joy. So that's kind of the past situation that brought me to where I am now. But more on that later. We have the future column, which is we have the Knight of Swords. So that's a hasty direction. Now I am known for being a little gung-ho and like doing things without thinking too hard about them. And there's the Four of Cups, which is growing emotion. It's also like a crossroads. You see the person in the picture is taking a break under a tree, and the universe is like offering some new emotion, and they're at a crossroads as to whether to take that or not. But the Ace of Pentacles speaks to like an underlying motive. Maybe there's resources to be gained from this offering, and that is why the decision is taking place, although it might be made quickly from what I'm seeing. So that is very briefly what I'm experiencing. I will go into more detail now, but it will take a bit longer because that was 9 cards and I have 36 cards total. So just moving on. At the center of everything, we have the Queen of Swords. She's clarified by the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. So what this is speaking to me is the High Priestess is devotion, and it's sort of like using logic to find what you're devoted to and what is creating something that you can fix your resources, and sort of the legacy you leave behind, and how you set yourself up for others to inherit or take from you some of your success that you're finding. And with the Eight of Cups, it's about changing direction. It's about a change of emotion. So a change that leaves you set up for success as well is what I'm reading out of those cards. So those are like the positive qualities I'm trying to devote myself to at the moment. With the traditions I'm aiming at with the Hermit. It's about staying devoted to positive routine, basically. So with the Queen of Cups above, you have the Ace of Wands, and then interestingly the Ten of Wands, just apart from that, signifying like the complete journey. But in the middle of those two is the Three of Pentacles, which represents sort of like collaboration and also like comments on your work, which is something that happens as I've been streaming lately. Just comments, some critiques, but mostly constructive advice. And so I thought that was interesting that was reflected here. Um, but I think the theme of the whole reading comes out a little more with the Hermit, because there's the Five of Swords, which is sorting thoughts. It also looks to me, what I got from this set of four cards at the bottom was the fallout from being too independent and maybe neglecting your relationships, because you have the Justice card, which is the law. And in this case, I think it's like the law of consequences, where you have the Five of Cups and also some sorting emotions is taking place. And it's like, they've lost a bit by having relationship fallout. So that is the present moment clarified. We go into the past, and we have, this explains a little bit more of my history. So at the very top, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Four of Swords, we have the King of Cups, and we have the Eight of Swords. So something I'm starting to think that maybe frequently I do, and this comes up in readings a lot, is that I take breaks or take time apart from something, reestablish. King is establishing, and reestablish my emotional domain, and then, free myself from the things that hold me back. And I did do that. I did that with a vacation. I did that by changing rooms in my house. And so I'm thinking, is that a theme? Is that going to continue happening if it happened in my past? Am I going to be finding happiness by retreating, finding solitude and establishing my area that brings out the best emotions in me? And does that free me, or do I need to change my tactics? So I thought that was interesting. And then the middle section, so we have the Tower card with the independent success. And this, so there's been a lot of reminders in this Tower reading, or just like, because over here we had the Hermit, and it's like fallout, relationship fallout has happened to me in my life before, and that was a reminder in this reading. And it's like something to watch out for in the future, and like take steps to take care it doesn't happen again. And the Tower here, it's in a similar vein to that Hermit set of cards, where the Tower, if you prioritize your independence too much, people can think you're stuck up, or not interested in them. And because of my shyness with the Moon, we have I think the Moon is like illusions or something. It's like, it's reflection. I am very shy, and so what I reflect back to people is that, like, I am not interested, when really I would like to get to know them. You have the Two of Cups with, which is the energy of emotion, and energy being exchanged between two people. Also, a note about the Tower for me, I don't take the Tower too seriously, or often when it comes up, I'm thinking about my past moment with the Tower, where it's like yes, something drastic did happen in my life. There's, before I became disabled, and after I became disabled would be, my Tower moment right around there. And it's like hard to top that, right? So that card doesn't scare me much. I shouldn't, say that so recklessly, not to tempt fate or anything, but when I see that in my past, I know it's referring to, I know what it's referring to. In this case, the independence I experienced comes at the cost of, my life had been drastically changed in my past, and so everything I do now is like working to recover from that. And and just to be careful, to do the things I have to do to maintain that recovery status. Anyway, the Four of Pentacles is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Wands. So what I'm seeing from the very secure and experienced Queen of Pentacles, it was something that a hobby that I was experienced in already and began to hold closer to my heart um and grow upon. And it was a seed of emotion as well. A seed of like, what seeds am I planting to really um set the way for my ambitions, the Nine of Wands, my ambitions, for me to be determined in completing them. So I'm paying special attention to that. For me it's a hyper focus, is finding a hyper focus, does help. Does it last forever? That's the seed I just planted. I hyper focused on something. But and it did give me a renewed passion for my ambitions. So maybe I need to work on like emulating that, or I don't know, but it was something interesting. That's just what the cards brought up in my memory and my thought. Just finding ways to stay determined as I grow my resources. So in the future we had the Knight of Swords, we had Judgment, which is calling, we have Temperance, which is communion, and we have the Three of Cups. Now, this was interesting to read in my future because it reflects something that's been going on. And well, with the Knight of Swords, there's like a hasty decision, a hasty calling, or a calling to make a quick decision, right? Because we have the Four of Cups beneath this set where it's like a decision has to be made, and Judgment is sort of calling me to that decision. The Knight of Swords is saying, you're going to make it quickly, and Temperance is saying it's communion. It's going to happen like with a bunch of people, and the Three of Cups, further establishes that it has more to do with more than one person. Interestingly, I do have some social events coming up. The Three of Cups is a social card to me. It's also representing, drinks, like literal cups. And for me, for some reason, the calling and the communion, it's like something I've been called to do is like start giving up alcohol. And it's been a month since I've had my last drink, and I'm very excited about that actually. And so it makes me wonder, what decisions can I make in the future? Maybe think before making decisions, if I'm being called to maintain that, when communion, when you're with a group of people and um, there's the opportunity to like partake or imbibe or whatever. So it's just a sign to be careful, I think. Um, yeah, I was just say there. It may be weird that I got that from that, but um, it made sense to me when I saw it at first. So the Four of Cups, the Magician, the Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Magician represents intelligence, so it's going to be an intelligent. It's a crossroads where I have to make an intelligent decision, and what this made me think of was in my past, in the future cards, I was getting the Five of Pentacles as I was making drastic decisions. About a couple months ago. So I've gone from being more drastic to more, intelligent about things. I think intelligent used loosely because not that I'm saying like I'm super smart. I'm just saying, with a better reservation, making decisions. Um, and it's a sign to me coming up here again in the future that it's like, look how things are turning out now. Are you satisfied with them? And the answer to that is like leaning towards yes. Things are turning out a little better than had I done something drastic and taken a strange crossroads, taken a turn at the crossroads, which is interesting that it's a future set of cards because this is a very past oriented like message from it. But I think what it's saying is like, look in the future, for more opportunities to reflect that your present situation could be different based on your decisions, if that makes any sense. So I will finish with this last set of cards. It's the Ace of Pentacles, I'm pretty sure. So that was that opportunity, that seed for resources, for material gain, maybe. So we have the Eight of Cups, or is it the Seven of Cups? It's a Seven of Cups with lots of visions. We have the Five of Wands, which is ambition, and the Eight of Wands, which is change in communication. So what I got from this is, in planning my resources, planning, my finances, and the Five of Wands, there's some sorting to be done there, and I think that's like a highlighted message, because the Eight of Wands is sort of saying like, hey, like incoming message, right here, like the cards just told you. um that to me, that's sort of what I'm getting from this specific Eight of Wands. It doesn't always like mean a highlight, but for some reason, I this time I was like, wait, maybe it's saying I really do need to sort my resources so that I can focus on one thing, to or one ambition, focus on one ambition, and just and follow it, see what the rewards are, and just put some time into it, and you know and maybe something will come up. I don't know. So that was this reading. Thank you very much. We're at 22 minutes for this reading, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks.